Hello friends, welcome to Java IO tutorial. Now you are watching part 3 of the subseries object stream and how to perform serialization and deserialization. In the previous video we talked about the example, and our example will draw a line when user presses and releases the mouse buttons. So in this video we are going to create the line instance, and we will make the line instance as a serializable. So serializable interface is defined in java.io package. This contract does not ask you to implement any methods. That means when we create the class line and when we say it implements serializable, the line class does not ask to implement or override any method. So the serializable interface is just a marker so that Java runtime knows the object can be streamed, and so the object can be streamed. So that's what Java runtime knows. So after streaming the content, its use is varies. So some people use the streamed content and they store that to the disk, and some people will send that to the network and receives and reconstructs the object on the other end of the network system. So as already told, since it doesn't ask you to implement any method, the purpose of implementing the serializable is it marks the class so that Java runtime knows the object state information can be streamed. Knows object state information can be streamed. The process of converting the object into stream is called serialization. This we already saw in the very first video. And then the process of reconstructing the stream into object is called deserialization. When a class implements serialization, its instances can be serialized and deserialized. So for example, here we are going to create a line class, right? And we will mark that as a serializable with the keyword implements. Once you mark the class as a serializable, when you create multiple instances, these instances can be represented as a stream, right? So once it is represented as a stream, then you can store it to the disk, or you can wire it to some other computer on the network. So here in terms of a network application, so let's say the data is sent between two systems. Here the sending application will serialize the line objects L1, L2, L3. It sends it through the wire. On the receiving end, deserialization will get performed on the receiving party. And here if you see, the data is stored to disk, and in later point of time the same application or some other application can read this content and recreate the objects. So to perform this streaming, we implement the serialization. Now let's look at the line class. Here if you see, our line class implements serializable interface. So this is the interface. Once you mark this line class as serializable, the instances of line class can be streamed. And here if you see, Our line class contains 2 point instances. One denotes the start point and another point instance denotes the end point. So here we just declare start and end point, and this is the point we will initialize during the mouse event actions. When mouse is pressed, we instantiate line, we instantiate first point, and when mouse released, we store or we register the second point. So during each mouse release, we will be having a valid line with valid points. Alright, so we have getter and setter methods. Since these two are private, we have get and set version for the start point. Similarly, get and set version for the end point. Next, the line class itself provides the capability of drawing the line. All it needs is a graphics object. So our frame window, so here we have a panel and we retrieve the graphics object from the frame window and we will supply it here. So mouse press and release is happening here. So when the release action is known, the mouse release action is known, we have valid point P1 and P2. So we will register both the point and then we will make a call to draw line. So usually we will make a call to draw line on the paint method of this frame window. So the paint method will have a graphics object, right? We will supply that graphics object. We will be having line object and we will make a call to draw line and we will supply the graphic object of the frame window. So the graphic object, whatever you see, this belongs to a JFrame. But line class takes the responsibility of using its internal members: start point, x and y coordinate, end point, x and y coordinate. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. So this is sufficient enough to draw a line. So our line class itself performs the line drawing when you make a call to draw line. Here we haven't done any validation, and since it's a demo, we are going with the plain and simple coding. Alright, now it's demo time. We will go to NetBeans IDE and create the line class, which is serializable. So this is where we left in our last video. Now we will create a new class and we will name it as line. Same package. Remove the comments. And we'll say it implements serializable interface. So in our line class implementation, we have 2 point instances. We will import it from java.awt. Our line class is marked as serializable. So its internal member should also be serializable. So we can check that once. We can press the control key and click on the point. And here you can see implements java.io.serializable. That means the point class also serializable, so no issues. So in the demo we talked about we will use array list, right? Array list will store collection of points. So we'll just check array list. We will remove it later. So once I place the cursor and do control click, and you can see implements IO serializable. So that's also all the object which we use here is a serializable. Now it's okay to proceed. We will remove this array list. Array list we are going to use it in the frame window, not on this line class. Now we will go ahead with the getter and setter methods. For that you can right click anywhere and go to insert code, choose getter and setter, click on both start and end point. So these two are private, right? Now we have a public member. So a property we can say, or getter and setter, is defined for start point as well as end point. So now our line class contains 2 point instances, and we will provide support for drawing a line. Graphics object is from java.awt. That's all. So in the graphics object we make use of a g.drawLine. So graphics object support various functions, and you can see all the functions that is starting with the draw, fill, all these are drawing function. Here in this we are using the draw line. So it takes x1 y1 x2 y2. x1 y1 we will retrieve from point 1 instance. x2 y2 we retrieve it from point 2 instance. That's all. Our line class is ready. We will build this once. That's all. Just now you saw the demo. Thank you for watching. Bye.